This next question comes on one of the Altium tutorial videos on the Altium Academy channel. And the question asks, what other component layers should one add? What parameters must one contain in the schematic symbols? Well, I'll address the symbols question first. I think there are really only two parameters that are absolutely mandatory in schematic symbols, no matter which CAD program you're using. The first is the name of the manufacturer of the part, and the second is the manufacturer part number. Now, of course, you could include a lot of other parameters in a schematic symbol. You could include technical information, you could include packaging information, you could include supplier information. It's really up to you. But in order to generate a BOM from your schematic, you really need to have those two pieces of information, the manufacturer and the manufacturer part number, because that's what's going to be easiest to use to generate that bill of materials, so that way you can quote the design for assembly. Now, the second part of the question, or I guess the first part of the question, what component layers should one add in a footprint? Well, of course, in a footprint, you need your copper layers, and the copper layers will have automatically generated solder mask and paste mask layers, and then you'll have silkscreen layers. So that's a minimum of 4 layers on each side of the board, and if your footprint uses both sides of the board, such as a through-hole component, it could have a total of 8 layers. So I think that's the minimum viable number of layers that you need for a PCB footprint. Now, there are additional layers that will appear in PCB footprints. One of these is the assembly layers, which could be assembly top and assembly bottom. That's going to appear in an assembly drawing that you generate from your PCB layout. Another layer that you'll find in a lot of PCB footprints is the courtyard layer. The courtyard layer basically tells you the component outline plus some margin. That way you know how much clearance you need to enforce around that package for your component. Depending on your source for PCB footprints, you will see different uses of different layers, and you'll see different information in these different layers, so don't expect every component source to have all of this information standardized. Now, this is one of the issues I talked about with Elizabeth Bustamante and Kristen Aguiar in some recent podcast episodes. Check out the video description for links to those episodes.